Alright guys, it's Daniel over at Winter in Oxford, Alabama. I wanted to show y'all around this heat pump control board. So control board is going to be the same thing, whether it is on the heat pump or the AC. Doesn't matter which one. Same control board from 1.5 tons to 5 tons. So pretty cool. You can stock one control board. It'll work on any unit. So a little bit about the features and the walk around on this thing. We'll do a walk around first, kind of so you can see where everything is. Right here, here's your thermostat wire plug-in. Here's your where you would wire nut your thermostat controls right here. This thing energizes in the B position, so be aware of that when you're setting up your thermostat. Energizes in heat. You're going to notice that it's only a 4-wire connection versus a 5-wire connection. You don't need red on this Oxbox. It's got its own onboard power, so you do not have to have a red. So that's kind of nice. Sometimes if you only have 4 wires, you can still use a heat pump, or if one of your wires is broken, you can still use a heat pump. Going on down, we have some temperature sensors. The reason we have these temperature sensors is not only for the defrost on this thing, but also this has a 10-speed, this is what hooks up, 10-speed ECM outdoor fan motor. What's so cool about that is, depending on temperature, that motor is going to ramp up and down. It's looking at all those. It's looking at discharge, suction, and ambient temperatures to determine what speed do I need to run. So if it's a cooler day, say about 65, and I believe the cutout's 55, if it's a 60-degree day but it's warm in the house, or maybe you have it in a commercial property like a kitchen or something, and it's still hot in there, it's cooler outside, this thing's going to ramp that fan motor down, and it's going to bring up the head pressure. So that is really cool. As far as checking the temp sensors, they're pretty easy to check. You're just going to need a meter. Going to make sure you want to put this on, make sure you put the meter on ohms. You're going to want to have needle point leads. And all you're going to do, you're going to put your needle point leads in there, like so. Make sure your meter's at the correct settings. And there we go. It shows 24. Okay. So then you would just go to the manual. You'd compare it to the to what temp that is. I think 24 is somewhere in the 40s range. So that's how you would check your ambient, your suction, your discharge temperatures. They're pretty easy to check. Moving on down, you got your pressure switch. Checking a pressure switch is easy too. You would just set your meter to continuity. Boom. Okay. It's usually going to make that beep, if we have a good connection. Here we go. Put it on one side, put it on the other side. There you go. Now you know the wire's good. It's making a complete circuit all the way back to the control board. And you know that your pressure switch is good. Over here we have our reversing valve wires. Right here we have our yellow out. Don't let that confuse you. So, the way this one works, the yellow call goes through the control board and then to the contactor. Through the control board to the contactor is how this works to pull this in. It doesn't go straight to the contactor. Let's see, walking around more, we have high voltage connections, grounds, and our outdoor fan motor. One thing that's pretty cool, I think, about these Oxboxes, along with the Bosches as well, digital display with a check button and a force button. The force button is used to force a defrost. The check button is to see what the unit's doing or what the temp sensors are even seeing. So on the back of the control panel on these Oxboxes, there is a whole list of checkpoints. So you would click your check button. It would go to 01 or 02, 03, so on and so forth. And it'll give you things like the current fan speed. It'll give you things, the target fan speed that it's trying to do, the T3 temperature, T4 compressor running time, whether you got a Y call, a reversing valve call, last fault codes. It can go all the way up to the last third fault code on this control board. So that's really cool. You've probably noticed by now this bank of dip switches right here. This first bank of dip switches here is SW2. The reason those are there, and you do not, I repeat, you do not need to touch any of these dip switches on a brand new startup. These boards come flashed out of the box for what they are. But if you ever have to replace one of these boards, since one board will replace it on any unit, you have to set up that board. And it's really easy. It's really easy to do. On the back of the control panel, once again, where the diagram is, it'll show you how to set it up. So for instance, this is a 5-ton. So if this was a new control board being put on here, you'd have 1 in the on position and 4 in the on position. Now it's set up. If you don't set that up, you're going to get things like motor current error and stuff like that. But that is only if you're replacing this control board, not when it's coming out of the box. The other bank of dip switches here, you ain't really got to worry about. I'll tell you the last one here, number 3 on this bank, is for your defrost time or defrost cycle, 30 minutes or 60 minutes. Out of the box, it comes for 60 minutes. So that's all that bank is used for. You see we got our capacitor up here for the compressor. We see that we have a nice and roomy control board box here. Love all the room you have to work in here. Love how tidy this is. You'll notice on this, hopefully the camera will pick this up, there is little joints here that the wires actually zip tied to keep them really nice and tidy. I love that. I like a really clean unit. I like things not rubbing up against middle, shorting out. I like a tidy unit. On this side, we got some big old nice heavy duty clips for our wires. They're coated very nice. So the longevity of it would be really good on that. I think that is about it on this control board. See anything I'm missing here? I'm pretty sure that's all. If you got questions or if there's anything that you feel like I missed, please comment or call me, text me, get a hold of me somehow, and I'm happy to answer any questions on these things. So pretty cool little setup, really nice, well put together unit. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be putting out more content like this. I'll be going over the Oxbox furnaces. I'll be going over the Bosch air handlers and Bosch outdoor equipment and stuff like that. So make sure you stay tuned, keep on watching,